informed decision. Smart people can make very bad investments when they're under pressure and lack the facts. Call 800-221-7694. That's 800-221-7694. AmericanFederal.com.
Here's the Wall Street Business Report.
The Cyber Monday numbers are in.
U.S. shoppers spent $14.25 billion on Cyber Monday, pushing total online sales over the Thanksgiving weekend to $44.2 billion. That's according to an Adobe Analytics report, as consumers found offers on everything from gadgets to household essentials. Spending rose 7.7% during the so-called Cyber Week, the 5 days from Thanksgiving to Cyber Monday.
That is Bill Alexander reporting. Delta Airlines estimates it lost $200 million due to the longest government shutdown on record. CEO Ed Bastian says refunds increased and bookings slowed during the 43-day shutdown, leading to a loss of about 25 cents per share. On Wall Street, there was a booming session at the closing bell. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was up by 408 points. The S&P 500 up 20. The Nasdaq up about 40. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew.
News and analysis at townhall.com. You may think
On Point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Partly cloudy skies this evening. Chilly with the low temperature dropping down to 32. Tomorrow, increasing clouds as the day moves along. A little bit warmer. The high is 57. There is a slight 20% chance we get some showers. Friday, well, wet and cold with widespread showers all day long. Expect a cold temperature of just 47 as the high. Could be a wet weekend also. About a 50% chance we get showers both Saturday and Sunday. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make The Point Radio.
This is Sports Talk with Phil Kornblut and Chris Bergen. Sports Talk is heard across the state on radio affiliates of the Sports Talk Media Network and is streaming live on SportsTalkSC.com, as well as Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. The South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number to call in is 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now, here are Phil and Chris with tonight's edition of Sports Talk.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Happy National Signing Day 26 for you. Oh, yeah, it's still a holiday as far as I'm concerned. Every year it rolls around, I go, not another one. But, you know, it's changed from how it was decades ago. It's a lot easier now. Don't really have to do anything. The schools do everything for you. I sat down at 6:58 this morning. Clemson put out its first signee 7:02, and they just came boom, 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 boom. South Carolina was a little bit slower. They put out 4 early. Then it's about an hour later, then 4 more came out, and they're still not done, South Carolina. We'll get into all that. Got a lot of stuff for you. I know one of the guests we're going to talk to tonight, besides hearing from Shane Beamer and from Dabo Sweeney, is Michael Foster, the defensive end from Indian Land, who flipped from East Carolina to Clemson and signed with the Tigers late this afternoon, and working on some other stuff as well. So we got a great National Signing Day show lined up for you. Going to go through all the signing stuff that we have, all the news notes that we have, talk about the stuff that's still going on, including what's going on with Landon Duckworth and Julian Walker as that impacts South Carolina, and Carson Baker as that impacts South Carolina. So why don't we do that off the top, and then we'll get into the weeds with everything else. We'll take some phone calls and get your reaction to things today. Phone number 888-898-2525. 888-898-2525. This is a pure recruiting night here on Sports Talk. Pure recruiting. In fact, we might just change to that every night. What do you think about that, Plummer? Plummer's back. How you doing, pal?
I'm doing well. I had a very smooth couple days off, and
so you did that because you took my line. You beat me. You beat me to it.
I'm not sure what you're referring to, but yeah, very good 2 days off. Nice to be away from the Phillip, the old corn, and but no, good to be back. I think it would be great for you to do an all recruiting show.
Well,
You'd enjoy it.
It's nothing like a vacation after vacation. After having your Thanksgiving vacation, you come back, take another couple of days. But Pat Daniel did a wonderful job in your stead.
Well, I had some weekend duties. I was at the game with you, and so, yeah. I get take one day on a Saturday, 2 days off during the week. It really works out well.
I forgot about that. You were at the South Carolina Clemson game, weren't you?
I was sitting right next to you all 4.5 hours. Yeah.
I forgot about that. Okay, so give me 10 seconds.
As Phil plugs in his computer. Just that terrible traffic, right?
I'm here.
You're here, yeah. I mean, you beat it. But
I beat the traffic again. Okay, so Jillian Walker, just talking to a source a moment ago on that as I was walking in the door, as a matter of fact, just trying to see what I could find out. And basically, no decision. He had practice today. They got a state championship game to play. He was on the phone with Bill Belichick today from North Carolina. North Carolina is they turned another big-time defensive lineman today from another Power 5 program or Power 4 program. North Carolina has been spending left and right. They've got – I'd have to look to be sure. I think they've got like over 40 in their class right now. They are going in really, really hard and really, really deep, and apparently just now it's down to spending. I mean, the players who have been doing all this flipping today, and there's been a lot of it, and the players who are still hanging out there, I mean, it's down now. It's transactional. Like Landon Duckworth now, it's, LSU has come in and made the big move for him with Lane Kiffin, and South Carolina might very well lose him. I was just checking a few minutes ago. I don't think anything's been firmed up on that yet. I did see a tweet from somebody who I don't know if it's reliable or not. I think he's a podcaster type, and they're about as reliable as the plumber. About as reliable as the plumber. I'm trying to come up with a catch line. I don't know. Anyway, about as reliable as the plumber, which actually would be pretty reliable. I got to come up with a better line. But I don't know if I trust it or not. This guy was saying that, according to his source, he's going to LSU, which might turn out to be the case here. He certainly has not signed with South Carolina as of this evening, unless something's happened in the last couple of minutes. So that's hanging out there for South Carolina. Julian Walker's hanging out there for South Carolina, and Carson Baker is doing something tomorrow as well. Now Beamer said today he acknowledged that there were 3 out there that they were still waiting on to get signed up. 3 of them were commitments. One was Duckworth, one was Tristan Lewis of Greenwood. Now, he has since signed. I don't think South Carolina's officially released it, but he's having an official announcement tomorrow, but he's already signed his papers and sent them in, so maybe they're not going to release it until tomorrow. But he is signed. And there was Duckworth. And, of course, there's Baker they're hanging out there on and Landon Duckworth. So there's still some work for South Carolina ahead of them overnight and tomorrow. And, they're burning up the phones to see what they can get done and see if they can hold on to Duckworth. But, I mean, if it just comes down to money now, how much does a guy want to really be in your program for the other reasons that are important? And if it's just money, if it's just transactional, and especially a kid that, he committed to you, then he decommitted to you, from you, and then he, committed back to you, and then he reaffirmed the commitment come November. And now here it is, the 11th hour, and all it takes is a phone call from Lane Kiffin or, money being mentioned, a higher amount of money, and that's enough. That's enough to shake you up. I mean, is that the type person you want in your program? Is that the type person, and I'm not just singling out Duckworth, I'm talking about any of them. Is that the type person that's going to buy into your program for those other reasons besides the money? But let's face it, right now, today and next couple of days until the period is over, the signing period is over, the decisions, they've got to be based on money now. This isn't I'm really torn between this school's cafeteria and that school's dormitory. It's not that. They're measuring the dollars out here now. So we'll see what happens. But we'll go over everything here in just a little bit. Plus, other news today, John Grass. I messed this up last night. I had the wrong grass. No, it was the right grass. You ever had grass? John Grass, who works there at Clemson, one of the analysts in the background, but he's been a head coach before at Jacksonville State and had a tremendous record there. And his son's the quarterback at Daniel. So it had been reported by Larry Williams at Tiger Illustrated for several days that it was a good possibility he was going to end up at Sanford, take the Sanford head coaching job. And that has happened. That has come to pass. So he's leaving for Sanford, and Larry Williams was talking about in his writing covering Clemson that there may be some staff members from Clemson going with him. He even mentioned Mickey Kahn, the safeties coach. And so you got to watch that situation and see how that develops. I got it confused. I was thinking North Texas. That was wrong. It was being mentioned for the North Texas job was the offensive coordinator. So Grass was going to go to was Sanford all the way, so I had that one kind of twisted. So he is headed there, and in Presbyterian looks like PC's going to lose Coach Englehart. Being reported, I don't know if they've announced it yet, but UAB to hire Steve Englehart from Presbyterian. What a jump! What a jump from. Well, it's FCS, but it's low FCS. It's non-scholarship FCS, and making the jump to Group of 5 at UAB, which is not it's a good program. It's a good program in the heart of Birmingham. A lot of good football players in the state of Alabama. I mean, you're lost in the shuffle there between Alabama and Auburn. Let's face it. Still, it's a good opportunity. So, good luck to him. He did a great job. We said one of the things you had to be worried about if you were Presbyterian was that he was doing such a good job that somebody was going to scoop him up. And thus he has been scooped, apparently. Meantime, Penn State goes on without a coach. More players have decommitted, going to Virginia Tech. And what a mess that's become. Let that be a lesson. I mean, you're probably getting what you deserve here at Penn State. For firing a good coach who'd done a really good job for you, and then if you just left things well enough alone, okay, you maybe you would have gotten in the playoffs, maybe you would have gotten it straightened out, probably not. You still would have had a good season and a bowl trip, but you'd have held your team together, you'd have held your program together, you'd have held a very good recruiting class together. Instead, you just blew it up. You nuked that recruiting class. It's down to basically nothing, and you're going to start from scratch, and coaches don't want to go there. Jeff Brom, they approached him. He said no. He's staying at Louisville. They're going to do more stuff for him at Louisville, so he's going to stay put. And he's not the first one to say no there. So that's become a mess. Okay, so let's talk about what's happened so far today. Go through everything that we've been writing about and talking about. And then we'll take some phone calls. We'll hear from Shane Beamer. We'll hear from Dabo Sweeney as well. So stay tuned for that. But first, let's begin with the Clemson signees. Go through that list, firm that up, and move on. So Clemson, in order, at 7:02 this morning, they signed wide receiver Connor Salmon, 6'2", 195, Potomac, Maryland. Sweeney loves his speed. He is a state track champion in Virginia. He's run a 10.400, a 21.1 200. This season he had 38 catches for 807 yards and 9 touchdowns. At the same time, at 7:02, cornerback Shavar Young, 5'11", 175 of Knoxville. He was officially signed. He committed to Clemson on August the 2nd of 2024. By the way, Salmon committed to Clemson on March the 8th. Young, way back August the 2nd, 2024. He also had offers from South Carolina, Michigan, Miami, Texas A&M, Notre Dame, Oregon, Georgia, Penn State, Florida State, and others. Salmon also had offers from Ohio State, Arkansas, Texas A&M, Florida State, LSU, Notre Dame, Tennessee, Indiana, Penn State, and others. And Young also played receiver in high school. 7:03, offensive tackle Leo Delaney, 6'6", 280, out of Charlotte. He committed on June the 4th. Some other offers for him: USC, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, Texas A&M, Miami, Penn State, Michigan, Southern Cal, and others. By the way, those first three are all January enrollees. Then at 7:03, tight end Tavion Wilson, 6'3", 205, Huntington, West Virginia. He committed November 21, 2024. Also had offers from Louisville, Penn State, Miami, West Virginia, Virginia Tech, Arkansas, NC State, USF, and Illinois. 7:04, offensive tackle Carter Scruggs, 6'5", 290, Leesburg, Virginia. He committed June the 5th. Also had offers from USC, Maryland, Missouri, Oregon, North Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Penn State, Virginia, Duke, Pitt, West Virginia, and others. Linebacker Braden Riley. Oh, by the way, he'll be a January enrollee, as will Tavion Wilson. Linebacker Braden Riley, 6'3", 210 of Cincinnati, signed at 7:04. He committed October 24th after decommitting from Northwestern. He also had offers from Minnesota, Vanderbilt, West Virginia, Wake Forest, Missouri, Indiana, and Michigan. Through 8 games this season, he had 51 tackles with 3 interceptions and 6 pass deflections. 7:05, Dorman safety Contavion Anderson, 6'2", 185. He committed on May 16th. He also had offers from USC, Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech, West Virginia, Syracuse, Wisconsin, Michigan, North Carolina, Florida, and others. He's a January enrollee. By the way, Braden Riley will be a summer enrollee. Anderson in January. Offensive guard, he can also play center. Chance Barkley, 6'5", 290, Mineola, Florida, signed at 7:05. And he committed on March the 9th. He also had offers Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Syracuse, Ole Miss, Arkansas, West Virginia, Maryland, Georgia Tech, Pitt, Miami, Penn State, Duke, and others. Defensive tackle Cameron Cody, 6'2", 285 of Savannah, signed at 7:05. He committed March 29th. Other offers for him were North Carolina, Indiana, Vanderbilt, Virginia Tech, LSU, UCLA, Missouri, Georgia Tech, Arizona State, Louisville, Tennessee, Kentucky, Wake Forest, and others. He's a January enrollee, as is Chance Barkley. Wide receiver Gordon Sellers, 6'3", 195 of Charlotte. He signed at 7:07, committed on April 18th. His other offers were South Carolina, Georgia, Kentucky, Miami, Wisconsin, Duke, Texas A&M, Vandy, Florida, North Carolina, West Virginia, NC State, Virginia Tech, Ohio State, Notre Dame. This season, 59 catches, 917 yards, and 15 touchdowns for his career. 133 catches, 2,419 yards, 33 touchdowns. He'll enroll in January. Receiver Naheem Burrows, 6 feet, 175 of Jacksonville. He signed at 7:12. He committed on March the 8th. Other offers were South Carolina, Ohio State, Tennessee, Southern Cal, LSU, Florida State, Florida, Notre Dame, Auburn, Miami, Wisconsin, Colorado. This season, 47 catches, 1,107 yards, 15 touchdowns. For his career, 163 catches, 3,614 yards, 49 touchdowns. Offensive tackle Adam Guthrie. By the way, he's a January enrollee. Offensive tackle Adam Guthrie, 6'6", 270, Washington Courthouse, Ohio, signed at 7:15, committed March the 7th. Offers from Ole Miss, Florida State, Texas, NC State, Arkansas, Southern Cal, Virginia Tech, Missouri, West Virginia, Texas A&M, Oregon, Michigan State, Florida, Miami, Auburn, Penn State, Michigan, and others. Summer enrollee. Quarterback Brock Bradley, 6'1", 185, Hoover, Alabama. Signed at 8:01. He committed August 31st. Also had offers from Wake Forest, Cincinnati, Memphis, Texas A&M, West Virginia, and others this season. 2,930 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Career, 7,694 yards, 87 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. January enroll. Center Grant Wise, 6'3", 310 of Milton, Florida, signed at 8:02. Committed on March 30th. Other offers were South Carolina, Ole Miss, Boston College, Florida, Mississippi State, Georgia Tech, Florida State, Oklahoma, Michigan, Ohio State, Tennessee, Alabama, Miami, Penn State, Tennessee, Georgia. Others enroll in January. Offensive tackle Braden Wilms, 6'8", 285, Lawrence, Kansas, 8:03 signing. Committed on December 2nd, 2024. Also had offers from Florida State, Duke, Northwestern, Wisconsin, Iowa, Iowa State, Arkansas, Minnesota. Defensive end J.R. Hardrick, 6'8", 235, South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, signed at 8:26, committed June 5th. Other offers were Illinois, Georgia Tech, Mississippi State, Kentucky, West Virginia, Virginia, and others. Cornerback Marcel Gibson, 5'11", 170 from Dallas, signed at 8:38, committed on March 21st. Also had offers from Kansas State, Maryland, Georgia Tech, Washington, Washington State, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, Nebraska, SMU, and others. Quarterback Tate Reynolds, 6'4", 195, Queen Creek, Arizona, signed at 9:20. He committed on July 7th of 2024. Offers included West Virginia, Texas A&M, Baylor, Duke, Kansas, Wisconsin, Oklahoma, Miami, Arizona, Tennessee, Washington, Florida State, Oregon, BYU, and others. This season he was hurt a good bit with a hamstring, so didn't get in a whole lot of games. As a junior, 2,238 yards, 22 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and he rushed for 1,400 yards. All right, got to hit the break. We'll come back and wrap up the two more in the Clemson class. Tigers now with 20 total in their class. We'll hit up the last two. Then we'll go through the Gamecocks. Then we'll hear from coaches, give you more news, talk to some players, get some phone calls in, check out some text messages, and we'll be back in just a moment.
I'm State Treasurer Curtis Loftus, here to share some great news. Future Scholar, South Carolina's 529 college savings plan, can now be used for a lifetime of learning. From K through 12 to college and beyond, saving tax-free for your child or
expressed and rhythm and tempo is what makes.
I'm State Treasurer Curtis Loftus, here to share some great news. Future Scholar, South Carolina's 529 college savings plan, can now be used for a lifetime of learning. From K through 12 to college and beyond, saving tax-free for your child or grandchild's education has never been easier. You can start with any amount. Contributions are tax-deductible and earnings grow tax-free. Discover the smart, easy way to save for college today at futurescholar.com.
Major Billy Downer here from the Department of Natural Resources, and DNR is excited to announce the implementation of Go Outdoors SC, a new online licensing and boat titling system that you can access right from your phone. Through this new system, customers can purchase their hunting and fishing licenses, renew their boats, apply for lottery hunt opportunities, and complete electronic harvest reporting requirements. For more information, visit Go Outdoors SC at your local app store.
There's a lot of things we take for granted in our lives. Your home's AC will run cool, your drive-through coffee will be hot, and the car will start when it's time to take your kids to school. It's when things don't go as planned that you start thinking about who to call and where to turn. The good thing is, you can prepare for life's most difficult days by calling the Larry Lucas Agency today. Larry is a State Farm agent that has been taking care of people across South Carolina for more than 2 decades. You probably have insurance, but switching is easy, and bundling can save you hundreds or more. Most importantly, the Larry Lucas Agency can help you choose the protection you want at the price you want. All backed by South Carolina's #1 home and auto insurance company. Visit LarryLucasAgency.com today or give Larry a call at 803-799-1998. Like a good neighbor, Larry Lucas State Farm is there.
Hi, this is Major Billy Downer, and coming up tonight at 7:30, it's another edition of SC Wild from the Department of Natural Resources on the Sports Talk Media Network.
Hi, Phil Kornblut here with our good friend George Bryan III, heard every Friday night on Birdies, Bogeys, and Biceps right here on Sports Talk. George, the Tsunami Bar, a very valuable tool for golfers. Why is that?
Well, the first thing that I say is the tempo. It's the only tool out there that allows the study of tension right from the first grab to be expressed, and rhythm and tempo is what makes the bar work. And it gives you something awfully special to keep those hands soft and get that rhythm going.
Learn more about Tsunami Bar technology by clicking on the digital ad on our website, SportsTalkSC.com, and save 5% by purchasing online using the promo code BBB5. By the way, no SC Wild tonight. I forgot to tell the plumber. The Major's up in New Jersey shooting ducks. He's taking ducks from those Yankees up there. I told him, leave some for the Yanks so they don't come down here and take our ducks. He's getting his ducks in a row up there. All right, we'll continue, finish up on the Clemson side, get to the Gamecock side, and other stuff after this break. National signing night.
On Point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Partly cloudy skies this evening. Chilly with the low temperature dropping down to 32. Tomorrow, increasing clouds as the day moves along. A little bit warmer. The high is 57. There is a slight 20% chance we get some showers. Friday, well, wet and cold with widespread showers all day long. Expect a cold temperature of just 47 as the high. Could be a wet weekend also. About a 50% chance we get showers both Saturday and Sunday. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
Hey y'all, my name's Ted from Flight Deck Restaurant. With the holidays approaching, people are looking for places to hold large parties. Flight Deck Restaurant has what you need. We have 4 different rooms that can accommodate groups from 12 all the way to 120 people. As long as you eat dinner with us, Flight Deck does not charge a rental fee for the room. Flight Deck Restaurant can accommodate wedding receptions, rehearsal dinners, Christmas parties, birthday parties, anniversary parties, civic organizations that need to have a regular place to meet. Flight Deck Restaurant is a full-service restaurant and we can provide audio-visual equipment. Please consider Flight Deck Restaurant in Lexington. Thanks y'all and God bless.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The University of Oklahoma instructor has been placed on leave after a student complained about receiving a failing grade on a paper. The student, Samantha Fulnecki, argued that her paper, which used the Bible to claim that belief in multiple genders is demonic, was unfairly graded. This incident is part of a broader debate over academic freedom on college campuses. The university stated that the grade won't affect Fulnecki's academic standing. Israel has launched an airstrike in southern Gaza in retaliation for an attack by militants earlier in the day that wounded 5 Israeli soldiers. Israel also has received remains in Gaza of a possible hostage and says it will begin allowing Palestinians to leave the war-torn territory through a border crossing with Egypt. More details at srnnews.com.
I don't know too many folks out there who love paying taxes, but what about getting tax credits? That's appealing, right? My buddy Ken at Broker Solar is in the tax credit business. How would you like a solar battery that helps do 2 things? First, it serves as an instant generator the moment the power cuts out, and it doesn't even require gasoline. Secondly, it lets you take some control back from the power companies. Yeah, you can use solar power during the peak hours when your power company wants to charge you the most. Oh, and that tax credit on solar batteries, you can get a 30% tax credit right now. This is a phenomenal time to reach out to Ken. He'll come out to your home or your business. He'll give you a comprehensive free estimate, answer any questions. Solar isn't free, but you need to take advantage of those credits when they do come around. around. Call Ken right now. Save on a solar-powered battery. Online, find him at brokersolar.com or just call Ken, 807-7417. That's 807-7417, Broker Solar.
This fall, discover a place where friendly faces greet you at the door. McCoy's Hardware of Lexington, Greg Lynette, and their welcoming team make every visit a breeze with expert advice and genuine hometown care. No more endless aisles or big box blues, just quality products and people who want to know your name. For every project, big or small, find what you need and a neighborly smile at 2028 Augusta Highway. Shop local. Shop happy. McCoy's Hardware of Lexington.
When your temperatures swing, your comfort shouldn't. At Sweet Comfort Services, we make sure your system's ready for anything. Get our $99 preventative maintenance, a full inspection and tune-up that keeps your equipment efficient, reliable, and safe. Thinking it's time for an upgrade? We offer estimates on new Goodman and American Standard systems. You'll get honest advice, fair pricing, and expert installation. No gimmicks, no surprises. Call 803-331-8143 or visit sweetcomfortservices.com to schedule today.
If you're feeling the weight of the world, how about visiting Spa MD in West Columbia? Marcy and her team can provide that perfect massage for individuals or even a couple. Lainey's been several times. She comes home completely revitalized. For a gift, if you're in the doghouse, or just because you love her, check out their options at visitspamd.com or call 251-9400. Leave your stress behind because you know what? You deserve this getaway. Spa MD, 251-9400.
How important is a good night's sleep? It's vital. Best Mattress is a local treasure. 97 years in the Midlands, family owned, with every mattress made here. Are you seriously going to order what you sleep on every night off the internet without trying it in person? There's 3 convenient locations for you to visit, so we can ask you the right questions and let you test the right mattress. In West Columbia, on Divine Street, or our newest showroom in Lexington near the amphitheater. bestmattress.net.
National Signing Night 2026. Enough said. You know what we're doing. We're talking recruiting. Pure, unadulterated, uninterrupted recruiting. You got to love it. Don't you love it still? Maybe not as much as you used to. You still got to love it because it's still happening, just different forms of recruiting than what we grew up with. All right, before we get back to that, I want to remind you, it's a little chilly out there, but still a great time to get to the beach. You know, walking on the beach with a heavy jacket, nothing wrong with that. Hanging out at the beach with some warm clothes on, nothing wrong with that. But you can always make plans for the warmer, sunny spring and summer by calling Jimmy Smith at James Smith Real Estate and letting him go ahead and set you up for your vacation. 843-237-4246. Now's a great time to make that phone call and lock down your location for whenever, spring, summer. Go ahead and get that done because the longer you wait, obviously the locations and the dates will be filled up. That number again, 843-237-4246 or online at pauliesvacationrentals.com. That's for Jimmy Smith at James Smith Real Estate, Pawleys Island. Your perfect beach getaway is right there waiting for you. That's all you got to do is make that phone call. Okay, so let's continue with the rest of the Clemson class and get to the South Carolina class and on to other things. So we left Clemson with a couple of more players that they had signed today, and one of those, long snapper Jackson Reach, 6'2", 215, Hermosa Beach, California. He signed at 10:04. He committed on September 20th. He also had offers from Army, Navy, Air Force, Western Kentucky, and a PWO from Boise State. From the Rubio long snapping camp, he was one of their top performers. He's a January enrollee. And last, for Clemson, defensive end Michael Foster. He signed up at 4:36 this afternoon. He committed today. He had been committed to East Carolina. He had other offers from West Virginia, NC State, kind of a late bloomer that Clemson got on late. And he's got some ties to Clemson. His father is very good friends with, let me think now. He's got former Clemson, let's see, his father is very good friends with former Clemson defensive lineman Otis Moore. That's what it is. And so, they kind of got together with him after he'd been committed to East Carolina and kind of showed him the orange light, I guess you could say. But this guy produces numbers. This season, 121 tackles, 26 tackles for loss, 12 sacks. As a junior, he had 87 tackles and 12 sacks. So he is headed to Clemson, 6'3", 230. There you go. That's the rundown of the Tigers. Now to the Gamecocks, who have a smaller class right now, but still it's a class that Shane Beamer thinks is a very, very good class. In fact, we'll hear from Beamer coming up here shortly. So the Gamecock signees came in like this. Offensive guard Darius Gray, 6'4", 280, Richmond, Virginia, came in at $725. He committed on August 27th, and he had a lot of offers: Clemson, Syracuse, Miami, Texas A&M, Alabama, Southern Cal, Virginia Tech, North Carolina, Michigan, Penn State. So that was a commitment that held firm, and they love this guy. They think he's going to be a big-timer. Linebacker Keenan Britt, 6'2", 230, Oxford, Alabama, came in at $726, committed on August the 10th, 2024. So he'd been committed to the Gamecocks for a long time. He also had offers from Auburn, Oregon, Tennessee, Arkansas, Florida, Ole Miss, West Virginia, and others. And this season, 61 tackles, 4 tackles for loss. That was through 10 games. Tight end Caden Ramsey, 6'5", 210 of Cross, 737 is when his signing was verified. Committed on September the 8th, Georgia Tech, Syracuse, Virginia Tech, Coastal Carolina, East Carolina. Other offers this season: 55 catches, 778 yards, 9 touchdowns. He also plays safety. They might be tempted to run him back at safety. 54 tackles and 7 interceptions this season. 21 career interceptions. I don't know. 6'5" safety. Torian Gray likes him big back there in his secondary. See what happens there. But signed as a tight end. Offensive tackle Anthony Baxter, 6'3", 335, South Point, signed at $739, committed on May 4th, 2024. So he had been set with the Gamecocks in his mind for a while. Other offers: Virginia Tech, Duke, East Carolina, Appalachian State, Penn State, Kentucky. Defensive tackle Noah Clark, 6'3", 290, out of Durham. He signed at $750, committed on July 2nd. Other offers were Duke, Michigan, Stanford, Vandy, Ole Miss, Notre Dame, Kentucky, Georgia Tech, Missouri, Florida, Tennessee, Penn State, LSU. Very good list for him. Cornerback Kosi Barnes, 6'2", 185, Greensboro, signed at $10.06, committed on July 26th. Other offers were Cincinnati, Louisville, Rutgers, Kentucky, NC State, Mississippi State, Miami, North Carolina, East Carolina, and others for him. As a junior, he had 68 tackles, 4 picks, 5 pass breakups. Offensive tackle Zion Giles, 6'5", 290, Carvers Bay, signed at $10.13. He committed on March 21st. Clemson, Miami, Florida State, Duke, Georgia, NC State, Wake, Virginia Tech, North Carolina, Auburn, Tennessee, Florida, Vandy, Colorado, and others had offered him. Considered one of the best prospects in the state. In fact, South Carolina did well in state this year with their signees getting pretty much the top ones in the state. Cornerback K.J. Johnson, 6'2", 175, Birmingham, signed at $11.34. He committed on June the 9th. Also had offers from Ole Miss, West Virginia, Texas Tech, Mississippi State, Arkansas, and others. Really likes Torian Gray and how he develops NFL defensive backs. You got to love these two guys, the brothers, the twins. Defensive tackle Aiden Harris, 6'3", 250, and his twin. Defensive end Andrew Harris, 6'2", 225, Weddington, North Carolina. They both committed on June 7th. They both signed at 12:30. They both have about the same offer list, including Clemson, Florida State, Kentucky, Michigan State, Maryland, Ohio State, Texas A&M, Michigan, Virginia Tech, UCLA, Auburn, Ole Miss, Southern Cal, Tennessee, plus others. Now, Aiden this season, 84 tackles, 17.5 tackles for loss, 11 sacks for his career, 313 tackles, 79.5 tackles for loss, 34.5 sacks. For Andrew, this season, 70 tackles, 22.5 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks. Career, 228 tackles, 58.5 tackles for loss, 13.5 sacks. Safety, Jazavion Currents, 6'3", 190, South Point, signed at 120, committed October 24th of 2024, so he'd been a Gamecock for a long time. His offers included Clemson, Florida State, Virginia Tech, NC State, Missouri, Boston College, Arkansas, North Carolina, Texas A&M, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, Southern Cal, Notre Dame, and others. His numbers this year. He also plays some quarterback. Well, he plays quarterback. He's passed for 2,764 yards, 17 touchdowns, and he's rushed for 1,497 yards and 18 touchdowns. On defense, 84 tackles with 4 interceptions and 23 pass deflections. Wide receiver Sequel Patterson, 6 feet, 165, Indianland. He signed at 4.15. He committed June 26 after reclassifying from the 27 class. Offers included Florida State, Georgia, Tennessee, Arkansas, Indiana, Syracuse, Michigan State, Michigan, West Virginia, Virginia, Texas A&M, Boston College, Pitt, Maryland, and others. This season, 76 catches, 1,006 yards, 10 touchdowns. In 2 seasons, 128 catches, 1,764 yards, and 17 touchdowns. All right, there you go. That's the rundown of the South Carolina and Clemson classes. After the break, first up, we'll hear from Shane Beamer. We'll follow that in the second hour with Dabo Sweeney and some more notes, run down some other classes from around the state from schools who've signed players. And then I know at 7:35 we're scheduled to talk to Michael Foster, who signed today with Clemson, and we're working on at least one other guest that we're hoping to get on board with us, and we'll be back in a moment.
Football season is upon us, and that means Columbia is welcoming fans from around the corner and across the country. No matter where you're from, Gamecocks love coming together for game day energy that can only be found in South Carolina's capital city. Book hotel rooms, find pre- and post-game activities, and plan your tailgate spread with local favorites from pimento cheese to barbecue at ExperienceColumbiaSC.com. We'll see you soon, and go Gamecocks!
Are you in the market for an auto loan? Move now. Get an auto loan from Founders Federal Credit Union now through October 31st, and you'll be entered to win up to $25,000 toward your qualifying auto loan and a $5,000 deposit into your Loyalty Select account. Loyalty Select is our highest yield savings account. Leave it there to grow or transfer it out to spend. And the best part? We'll be choosing monthly winners, so the earlier you get your auto loan, the more chances you have to win. So don't wait. Visit foundersfcu.com/auto to learn more or begin your auto loan application today. Not a Founders member yet? Visit us online or stop by an office to learn more about Founders and see if you qualify for membership. We have the financial tools you'll need and the personalized service you deserve. Relax, you're with Founders. Terms and conditions apply. Membership qualification required.
This is Perry Orth, former South Carolina quarterback. On the field, my job was simple. Read the defense, protect the ball, and give my team the best chance to win. Off the field, at Moultrie Insurance, our job is no different. Help protect your business from the risks that you don't see coming, so you can focus on moving the ball forward. Just like a good quarterback, we anticipate challenges, call the right plays, and keep you protected. Trust Moultrie Insurance to cover your blind side and keep your business in the game. Visit MoultrieINS.com today.
All right, we continue with our coverage. National Signing Day 2026. Let's hear from South Carolina coach Shane Beamer.
Certainly today is a great day. We got better today as a football team. There's no question about it. Really fired up about not just the talent of the players that we've brought in, but the kind of people they are. We've brought some big-time players in today that we signed, and we've brought in some big-time people in addition to that. Everybody looks at signing classes and the number of guys that you sign. This is not a huge class, but if you talk about quality over quantity, we absolutely hit the mark on that. Everybody's got their different rankings, but I think I said this Saturday after the game in regards to average star rating. This is a top 10 class in the nation, and we're not done yet as we finish up. These guys are big-time people, as I said. We had certainly a tough year on the field, but most games when I came in the locker room or I got done in the press conference with you guys after the game, usually when I pulled out my phone, the first text messages I had after the game were from these guys because they believe in what we're doing. Their families, I usually would hear from their moms and dads as well, and they believe in what we're doing and they know how close we are and they want to be a part of this, without a doubt. So, 9 of these guys will be here with us in January when we start spring practice. Could be, could be more as we go down the list, but that's the ones that we're able to talk about right now. We signed the number one player by 2 different services, 2 different number one players in the state of South Carolina. So as you guys know, we always want to start in the state of South Carolina. Always have and always will as long as I'm the head coach here. And we signed a couple of different services have a different number one guy. We signed the number one guy from multiple services, which I'm fired up about. We always want to go into North Carolina. When I got here, I realized that we did not have enough players on the state from North Carolina. Nick Barrett was committed to come here when I got hired, and I believe he was the only one. And I said, that's crazy that we don't have anybody from North Carolina. So we made a major point of emphasis to recruit North Carolina, and we've been able to do that by signing 4 guys from the state of North Carolina that we had to beat everybody in the country out for. And then to be able to go into Alabama and make an impact, to sign the number one player in the state of Virginia that we beat everybody in the country out for is something that we're really proud of, without a doubt. You like guys, I like guys that play multiple sports. So many of these guys are multiple sport athletes, whether it be basketball, whether it be track, and then guys who play both ways. You watch a lot of these guys in their high school video, they're playing offense and defense both, and the more you can do, the better. There's no question. So really, really proud to have these guys as Gamecocks right now. There's a lot of work that went into signing these guys. I feel like, Darius Gray, I've been recruiting since I got here as the head coach, and a lot of trips to Richmond, Virginia. The bye week of 2024, I was in Richmond. The bye week of 2025, I was in Richmond. High school basketball games that I've been to, but he's just an example of, someone that you spend years and years recruiting, and it's pretty cool to see it all come together today and celebrate these families and all their hard work. So many people to thank. First of all, the high school coaches. I've been in all these guys' high schools and so many of them to thank as we culminate the signing class today. Their work and their willingness to help us as coaches here at South Carolina. Darren Usher heads up everything from a recruiting standpoint. Darren's done an amazing job. He and his team with Brian Bachman and Brandon Middleton and Sam Survey, who's done an unbelievable job, particularly with these offensive linemen, getting them in here. Jessica Jackson and Allie Brokaw head up our on-campus recruiting team, and then all the people that work with them. And when you're bringing guys in on visits and their families, there's so many people that are involved. It's not just if David comes here on a visit that it's just me and the position coach with David. If we're recruiting David, it's so many people. It's academics, it's the weight room, it's the training room, it's Joe and video, it's the nutrition department, it's the equipment department, it's Justin King and his team when it comes to photo shoots and all that. I mean, official visits and unofficial visits, it's a team effort, and there's so many people to thank, and I can't even, I'm sure I missed somebody, but everybody that contributed to this day, we appreciate you, because there's a lot of people that contributed to this day. And as we go forward, I'm sick about the season that we just had. pissed off that I'm not walking out of this press conference and going back down the hall to start getting ready for the SEC championship game. That when we walked out of Atlanta back in August after the Virginia Tech win, fully expected to be back there this week playing in the championship game. And I'm happy that we're or not happy. I'm happy that I'm here about signing day. I'm livid that we're not getting ready for the championship game. And the players on this team feel that way too. I've been having exit meetings all week with guys. I've got about 40 to go over the next 2 days. Been meeting with guys since Monday, and they've been extremely positive. They're extremely hungry about 2026. They are adamant, just like I am, that we need to get the right guys in this locker room, and guys that may not be the right fit in that locker room, then they won't be here in 2026. And we're hard at work on getting the right people in the locker room and on that bus as we go into 2026. Our guys know that we went toe-to-toe with the best teams in the nation this season, and return a core group of talented guys and older guys that will be leaders on this team next season. It sucked going through this past season, but we will be so much better in 26 because of what we went through just now in 25, and we'll finish up those meetings with these guys this week, but can't wait to get started. Already have started, but can't wait to get everybody back here in January and get going on the 2026 football team. So questions you guys have?
Shane, I believe just from the early commitment list, there's 3 guys that are yet to be confirmed or announced. Any concern with those 3 guys that haven't announced?
I do not. Signing day's an adventure, particularly there's a lot of different factors at play nowadays, but you never rest easy, but feel good about everyone that was committed, everybody that we were recruiting, David, going into today. And every young man has to make the decision that's best for them, but I don't. And that's the thing. And I know I alluded to it in the opening statement, but a lot of you guys are calling these recruits and asking them, like, why are y'all? I mean, you still committed to South Carolina? They're having a tough season, all that stuff, and they did. We kept this group intact, and we signed the ones that we wanted to sign out of this group, and really fired up about the people they are, the commitment to South Carolina that they have, and what they're about, because it would have been very easy to say, man, South Carolina's not having the season on the field that we want. Let me look elsewhere, and that did not happen with this class, and we went out and signed a really solid group of people.
Just for clarity's sake, so the 3 publicly committed guys who have not yet signed, you're expecting those 3 who have publicly committed to you to sign? Because there's been some reporting about one of them that might throw some doubt.
Yeah, like I can't analyze guys that I can't talk about. All I can tell you is we've had conversations with their families last night, this morning, and until people are signed, people are signed. But to clarify what I said, I feel optimistic and feel good about the guys that haven't signed, and want the guys that want to be here. And if somebody decides not to come and doesn't want to be here, then that's obviously an opportunity for us to go replace them with someone else that does, is how I look at it too.
And besides those 3, is it possible you could add maybe 1 or 2 more on Thursday or Friday?
From the high school ranks? Yeah. Like I hate that we're like talking in code right now, because I really don't know exactly. Like I know who I think's going to sign, and I don't even have my phone on me. I don't know who the heck signed in the last 10 minutes that maybe hasn't been announced, has been announced. If there's a way to like decipher the code on regards to who we're talking about, I don't know. After today, I think there's one young man that's deciding tomorrow that he's already announced. We're optimistic on that, but again, don't know. Nobody's told me anything, yes or no. I've had good conversations with everybody that we're still recruiting, the people that I've been recruiting here for a long time. I've had great conversations with all of them. I know not all of them have signed here to come with us, but outside of one that's already announced, he's making his decision tomorrow. I do not envision anything changing that we sign more than one guy in addition tomorrow. Now, I could walk out of here and somebody could say, hey, so-and-so didn't sign with school X and he wants to come to South Carolina, and I may say, heck yeah, and that may change. But as we sit here today, Phil, that's how I see things going.
Considering their importance to the football team in the future for next year, what is your deepest, truest feelings about Lenoris and Dylan? I mean, your truest, deepest feelings about are they going to be with you in 20? I mean, and wouldn't you like to know sooner isn't it important to know as soon as possible?
No, it absolutely is, and that's what I've conveyed to Lenoris, Dylan, Nicholas Harbor, Brandon Cisse, Jalen Kilgore. I mean, there's a lot of guys that have NFL decisions that they can make. I mean, that's a few. There's anybody that's been in college football for 3 years has the ability to go to the NFL if they want. But certainly those guys are guys that have decisions to make. And you know, I don't want to rush them, but certainly I've told those guys that the quicker, and I've told their families when I've talked to them, the quicker that they make a decision, the better it is for all of us in regards to hiring offensive coaches. They want to know, is Nicholas Harbor and Lenora Sellers, am I going to be coaching them if I come to South Carolina? So the quicker I can tell them yes, the better that is for all of us, this entire program. Same thing from a, you know, defensive standpoint as we go down the road with the portal on offense and defense. Guys that want to come here and play, they want to know, you know, who's going to be there with them. So, yeah, I want everybody to make the right decision for them, Phil, when the time is right. We're not pressuring anybody. Those are conversations that I've had with those guys leading into this week. Those are conversations that I've had with those guys this week. I'm not going to give you my deepest, most inner feelings, but I do know this. Those are all, if you talk about Dylan and Lenore specifically, those are great young men, and Nicholas too, that really believe in what we're doing, and my conversations with them are they're extremely excited about what this team could be in 2026, and they're a big part of that. There's no question, and I don't think I know there's no sense of I'm not really sure South Carolina's where I want to be. It's them making the best decisions for them and their families and their futures, and my conversations with them and their families have been awesome.
Okay, that's a good bit of Shane Beamer. All of it's on our website, SportsTalkSC.com. After the break, it'll be Dabo Sweeney time. We'll bring some of what he had to say to you, and then more from this National Signing Day. We'll be back after the top of the hour.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The U.S. is set to loosen its fuel economy rules, reversing another Biden-era policy that had been expected to lead to increased purchase of electric cars. President Trump says he's rolling back Biden-era fuel economy standards designed to lower tailpipe emissions.
These policies forced automakers to build cars using expensive technologies that drove up costs, drove up prices, and made the car much worse. The action is expected to save the typical consumer at least $1,000 off the price of a new car, and we think substantially more than that.
White House officials said the prior standards were not realistically achievable and were driving up costs for buyers. Lawsuits are in the works by families of the victims of that UPS cargo jet crash in Louisville. Attorney Bradley Cosgrove, representing two of the victims killed on the ground in that UPS cargo plane crash in Kentucky, tells WHAS 11 News the defects in that plane should have grounded it before it crashed.
We think that those would have been long-standing defects that should have been found and fixed long before this aged aircraft was continued to be pressed to its max by UPS over and over and over and over with more than 21,000 cycles under its belt.
A University of Oklahoma instructor has been placed on leave after a student complained about receiving a failing grade on a paper. The student Samantha Fulnecki argued that her paper, which used the Bible to claim that belief in multiple genders is demonic, was unfairly graded. This incident is part of a broader debate over academic freedom on college campuses. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 408 points, the Nasdaq rose 40, the S&P advanced 20. More at townhall.com.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
Every day I speak with people who are worried and are feeling a lot of pressure because of credit card debt. That's why I'm very proud of what we do at Trinity. We just help. We give people the support they need, along with a real plan to become debt-free. Credit card bills are consolidated into a single monthly payment that is much less than what they were paying before. Most of our members end up saving thousands and even may improve their credit scores by as much as 200 points. I know from the bottom of my heart that I'm making a difference in the lives of the people we help. It just makes me really happy.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Julie, and I'm a Trinity counselor. Call me and become debt-free for keeps.
1-800-990-6976.
Delta Airlines estimates it lost $200 million due to the longest government shutdown on record. Bob Agnew reports.
The shutdown began October 1st and caused long delays and historic flight cancellations at major airports. The FAA issued an emergency order requiring airlines to cancel up to 6% of domestic flights as more air traffic controllers called out of work, citing stress and the need to take on side jobs. CEO Ed Bastian says refunds increased and bookings slowed during the 43-day shutdown, leading to a loss of about 25 cents a share. Bob Agnew reporting.
Steve Cropper, who co-wrote classic songs including Sittin' on the Dock of the Bay and In the Midnight Hour during his years playing guitar at the legendary Stax Records in Memphis, has died. He was 84 years of age. News and analysis at townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Keith Peters reporting.
It's On Point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Partly cloudy skies this evening. Chilly with the low temperature dropping down to 32. Tomorrow, increasing clouds as the day moves along. A little bit warmer. The high is 57. There is a slight 20% chance we get some showers. Friday, well, wet and cold with widespread showers all day long. Expect a cold temperature of just 47 as the high. Could be a wet weekend also. About a 50% chance we get showers both Saturday and Sunday. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com.
Welcome back to Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network. You can reach the guys with the South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number, 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now back to Phil and Chris with the second hour of Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network.
Alrighty, welcome back in. Sports Talk Media Network. All our recruiting coverage, of course, here on Sports Talk, whether it's the daily reports or this elongated version, of course, is brought to you by our good friends over at Seawell's Food Caterers. And we remind you that this holiday season, why not give Seawell's a call and let them work with you on your special event that you might have this holiday season or into next year. You're planning something in the spring, like maybe a wedding or a big party or something like that. Let them work with you because they've worked with people for about 80 years. And you don't do what they do for 80 years unless you do a great job. That is evidence enough. Their phone number is 803-771-7385, and their website is SeawellsCateringSC.com. And the plumber just can't wait to give us the menu about the daily luncheon buffet tomorrow.
I seriously can't. They're closed on Friday, so tomorrow's the last day. So they start off with homemade vegetable soup.
Perfect.
Then it's teriyaki glazed salmon nuggets. It's fried pork chops. It's carved roast beef. And it is southern fried chicken.
Carved roast beef?
It's carved roasted sirloin of beef. I would take that as roast beef.
That sounds like a roast beef Thursday and RBT. Okay, we'll get over the Seawells tomorrow, folks. Enjoy yourself and tell them that Sports Talk sent you. And it's only $15 too. I mean, you're not going to find a better deal anywhere. Okay. Dabo Swinney up next. The Tigers, of course, signing their class of now 20. He'll mention 19 the time he did this Michael Foster had not yet signed. So at the time he did this, he's talking about 19. It's actually 20 for the Tigers. You think Dabo Swinney likes the group, huh? Here he is.
These 19 guys that just signed up to come play for the Tigers, despite, everybody trying to talk them out of coming and all this stuff, I just believe it's going to be a special group, and I believe they got great things that they're destined for. And so I'm just super excited about them. They align, with the purpose and the values of our program. And again, I can't wait to get started to actually get to work with them. These are much needed additions to our team, and they bring talent, they bring character, and they bring commitment. All right? Because these 19 guys, they are the epitome of commitment, and I'm really proud of that. One of the greatest coaches of all time said it takes talent to win and it takes character to repeat. It takes talent to win and it takes character to repeat. We are a program of character. That's why we've repeated many, many, many times in my 17 years, whether it be great seasons, state championships, ACC championships, division championships, national championships, playoff wins. All right? And these guys bring the talent and the character and the commitment that it takes to repeat excellence. All right? And I've got no doubt that this group will do that. They will help us continue to be a program of excellence. So just so excited about these group of guys that committed to us, stuck with us, and can't wait to watch them, do great things as Clemson Tigers. I think this is going to be a special group. I love all these classes, but this is a group that came here even though it wasn't as sexy to maybe come here this year. They stuck with it. And I think that says a lot about who these guys are, because they could go on wherever they wanted to go. And so they've got the talent, but they've got the character and they've got the commitment. And that's how you win championships. That's how you win championships. But you got to have the character to repeat. All right? And this is a program of character, and I don't have any doubt, again, that this group will help us continue to be the program of excellence on and off the field that we've been for a long, long time here. So just very thankful for them. Can't wait for these mid-years to get here so that we can start doing football life together and start the journey of ups and downs and all the peaks and valleys and all that stuff. Can't wait to go through the process. But appreciate the great job that Ty Clements has done in heading up our recruiting. I mean, he's done a great job. He's incredibly detailed. Chanel, she does an amazing job. Jordan, Zach, Josh. I mean, we have a great team that really does a great job, from a recruiting standpoint. Everybody's involved, but just thankful for this group and their parents for choosing Clemson, and excited to get started with them.
Kind of a two-part question about Mount Luke would be, number one, where does this class, kind of stand for as far as just offensive linemen?
Yeah, I mean, and obviously time will tell. We'll tell the true story on that, but coming in the door, I mean, it's elite. I mean, these are guys could have gone wherever they wanted to go. They had offers all over the country, and I just think he's done a great job. And coming in his first year, he was kind of behind the. I kind of already had Braden, so I don't give him any credit for that. I tell him I'm taking credit for Braden, and we had Easton committed, but he's got to have some credit, because if we hadn't probably hired Matt Luke, might have lost both of them guys. So he was able to solidify that, but putting the rest of that class together with Blanchard and Byrne and Caddis, being able to kind of finish that group last year was really good. But he had a full cycle to really go out and then also really know our program and really understand our program. And I mean, he just did an amazing job. I mean,
second part of that would be, I remember way back in the day talking to Brad Scott, and Brad was to say, we're going out and recruiting 240, 50-pound guys, and we hope to give them, peanut butter and milkshakes, and hopefully by year 3 they're able to contribute and get out on the field. How different is it now to have these guys walk through the door at 330 pounds?
Well, I mean, that's just where we are as a program. Like, we wouldn't have been able to sign kids from 13 states back in those days. We just that's not where our brand was. But that's what winning does. All of a sudden you got to, this Paul we can walk in anywhere, from California to international. We can go anywhere. Everybody knows the Paul. And, because we've won. And people, millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people have watched us win. And, look at the enrollment here at Clemson. I mean, when I first came to Clemson in 2003, I bet you we had 18, 19, 20,000 applicants a year. Now we're pushing 70,000. So that's what winning does. And we've won. I mean, over and over and over and over and over and over for a long, long time. And so now we can go out and we can recruit the best of the best. And we've been able to do that. So especially in this offensive line, I mean, these are big, athletic, strong dudes that, like I said, could have gone really wherever they wanted to go. They had opportunities and offers all over the country, but they chose Clemson. And again, that I just never take that lightly. And I so appreciate the belief that these young men have in me, in our program, in Clemson, and especially their families as well.
I guess you talked about the number of decommits. I mean, were you almost surprised it was only, I think there were maybe 4 guys that committed?
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to have somebody somewhere along the way, but man, I don't really focus or get distracted by those not here. I just get excited about the ones that are here, and that's what it's all about to me. But big picture, in a season like this, where there's just so much negativity and attack on your program, attack on the coach, all this stuff, because that's what we do when things don't go exactly the way we plan. For a group of young people who that's their world, who that's what they've grown up with, for them to block all that out and say, no, this is what we're doing. And we absolutely align with who they are and what their values are and what they're about. And to have that type of conviction and belief, and it don't matter if we went 7-5 or 12-0, it's a special group, man. And again, that's why I compare this group to that 2011 class that came here when we were 6 and 7. And all you got to do is just look what that group did and what they started. I really believe this is a special group of people because they've got a special type of commitment.
I guess numbers-wise, I mean, obviously you're still figuring out transfers out, but just from the number of signees, is it kind of understood you're going to have to have a bigger portal?
Oh, yeah, I mean, you don't have any choice. I mean, again, the things that I've always said, what puts you in the portal? Well, first of all, you got 105 now, so it's a different world that we're living in, but nothing has changed with us as far as what puts us in the portal. What puts us in the portal is we can't get the top high school kid that we want, or we get a decommit. Because if a kid decommit, some of these kids will decommit 2 weeks before signing day. If you get a decommit, well, it's hard to replace that with the high school kid this late. It's really hard. So you got a gap. So you got to go fill that, and that's just part of it. So that's the first thing that puts you in the portal. Or you have, somebody who leaves that you didn't want to leave. Well, that puts you in the portal because again, now you got to fill your number, and there's nowhere to go get a high school kid in January, in December. So you fill that, or maybe you sign some guys that maybe somebody got hurt, or maybe there's somebody on your roster that hadn't quite developed the way you want for whatever reason, or maybe they haven't done their whatever. You gotta fill that. So we'll have all those situations. We've had a few decommits, so you got to go replace that. That's just part of it because there's a gap. Because we set a number for what we got to recruit to, and you've got to fill that number. So I don't really know. I know what our needs are, but I don't know if we're going to sign 2 guys or we sign 7 guys. I have no idea. Because our roster's not settled. We got guys that have to make decisions. We got a couple guys that are going to, for sure, I already know going to go in the portal, and that's great. It's a great opportunity for them. And then we'll have maybe a couple more that haven't made up their mind, and we might have a junior or two that, is going to go pro or stay. So those things are all really fluid until they become reality. And the good news is the portal's been moved. I still think it needs to be changed, but it's in a better spot, so we can focus on this part of it, and then you can just kind of see how your roster shakes out, and you fill the gaps that you have.
All right, all of Dabo Swinney up on the website, SportsTalkSC.com. By the way, D. Clayton, that's not his name, D. Creighton, Clemson linebacker. He is transferring. And Nick Sharp, USC starting offensive guard, he announced he's transferring. Be back.
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love, and you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
Life insurance isn't for you. It's for those you love the most. For a complete insurance review, call Buddy Bridges in Lawrence County at 864-923-2174, serving Lawrence, Clinton, and the shores of Lake Greenwood.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states.
Hi, I'm attorney Jim Corbett. For over 35 years, I've been making claims, litigating cases, and mediating cases. Quick checks from a car wreck are usually lowball offers. What happens 5 or more years from now when you didn't get the treatment or compensation you needed? Call me, Jim Corbett, 803-765-2968, or jim@jimcorbettattorney.com, Corbett with an E, and the initial consultation is free. Jim Corbett, 803-765-2968.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at sccattle.org. Beef. It's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff program.
Many of South Carolina's top high school seniors meet in one unforgettable showdown in Myrtle Beach. It's the 78th annual Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl. Hi, I'm Phil Kornblue. Join me Saturday, December 13th at noon, live on your Sports Talk Media Network affiliate and streaming on all of our social media channels. Don't miss the pride, the passion, and the tradition of the Touchstone Energy Bowl, powered by your local Touchstone Energy Cooperatives. Get your tickets now at touchstoneenergybowl.com.
The lottery is not about getting rich. It's about helping people, and it always has been. The lottery is what helped raise the Great Wall of China, build the roads of Rome, and today in South Carolina, it's what generates millions of dollars each year for scholarships like the SC Hope, Life, and Palmetto Fellows. The South Carolina Education Lottery is investing in you. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou to learn more.
Touchstone Energy Cooperative members save more on electricity, and members save more on insurance, groceries, healthcare, restaurants, travel, concerts, and sporting events through Co-op Connections. Touchstone Energy is an alliance of the member-owned electric cooperatives, and as a member, the power is yours. Experience the power of co-op membership with Touchstone Energy and find out how much you can save on electricity and a whole lot more at touchstoneenergy.com.
We are back on Sports Talk, National Signing Day 2026. Give you some more notes from today. Just to rehash a few things. So, South Carolina quarterback commitment Landon Duckworth has not signed as of tonight. Now, Rivals analyst Steve Wiltfong reported that Duckworth's going to go to LSU. He's given that a projection. He did that this afternoon. Going to break the pledge to Shane Beamer and sign instead with new LSU coach Lane Kiffin. Duckworth originally committed to the Gamecocks in 2023. He decommitted in 2024. He committed to them again in July. He later reaffirmed that commitment in November. That one is still to be played out. Meantime, Dutch Fork defensive end Julian Walker will not sign until tomorrow. No time has been given. No formal ceremony is going to be held. They're still practicing. They had a practice this evening. They're still practicing for their state championship game. So that's just going to be kind of a wait-and-see thing. South Carolina, Michigan. And today he was on the phone with Bill Belichick at North Carolina. North Carolina attempting to make a late run at him, as they've been able to do. They've been able to turn a lot of people the lure of Belichick and whatever they're putting out there in terms of financial package is turning a lot of heads there in Chapel Hill. I mean, I think they're going all in on next year. I think they realized they stunk it up this year. They weren't prepared. The transition for their personnel from the head coach to the GM and others for the college thing, I think they probably learned a cold lesson. And they're going all in Chapel Hill for football, bringing in people. They're bringing in people. So they won't be short of – it'll be young. They'll be young people, but they won't be short on talent with the group they're bringing in. So anyway, Julian Walker will be something to watch tomorrow. Also, there's Carson Baker, the running back, of course. Now, I think Beamer said in his comments that they weren't looking to bring in a running back, a high school running back. I think he made those comments in what we ran tonight, which means he doesn't believe they're going to get Baker. He's no longer pursuing Baker. Florida, North Carolina, Kentucky, they've been involved. So maybe his efforts are more towards Julian Walker. Now, if South Carolina got Julian Walker, I can attest to this from having seen him in the state championship game last year, and we'll see him again this year, and being on the field standing next to him. He is a good-looking athlete. There's no question about it. You add him to what the Gamecocks are already bringing in on the defensive line, that's a salty, good-looking group that they'll have if they get Julian Walker. So we'll have to wait and see. Safety Caden Gebhardt did the expected. He'd been committed to Clemson since March. Then this morning announced a decommitment. Really didn't announce a decommitment. He just went ahead and signed with Ohio State. He's from Ohio. Ohio State made a late pitch, and he accepted it. One-time USC target, long-time Maryland commitment, defensive end Zion Ely. He did sign with the Terps. AC Flora cornerback Azael Benag signed with Oregon. I think he's the first high schooler to sign with Oregon out of high school. I know Jordan Birch transferred to Oregon from South Carolina. I can't think of another high schooler to sign with Oregon. Now, there's a connection there. His father played at South Carolina. His teammate there was Chris Hampton. Who was Chris Hampton? We talked about him last night. He's the secondary coach and co-defensive coordinator at Oregon. And he was originally, Benag was originally committed to Harvard. And he also had offers from Georgia Tech, Duke, Wisconsin, and Northwestern. So he is headed to the West Coast to play for Oregon. Woodland defensive end Jamin Pinckney, 6'5", 220, who had been committed to USF, he signed with Florida State. Indianland wide receiver Hayden Morris signed with VMI. Now, Furman signed 9. Quarterback athlete Banks Bouton from Gaffney. Is it Bouton or Boughton? I think it's Boughton. Banks Boughton, 6'2", 205 from Gaffney. Offensive lineman Jackson Corey, 6'3", 275, Trinity, Florida. Receiver Jay Duncan, 6'3", 160 from Greenwood. Linebacker Braylon Hood, 6 feet, 205 from Richmond. Offensive lineman Tim Hirbu, 6'4", 300, Cumming, Georgia. Might be Hirbu, Hyrbu. Tight end Cameron James, 6'2", 210, Gainesville, Georgia. Safety Braylon Peoples, 5'10", 170, Raleigh. Offensive lineman Cooper Sanders, 6'4", 280 from Wren. Quarterback Trey Smith, 6 feet, 205 from Canton, Georgia. Wofford signed 10. Defensive tackle Noah Clark out of Perry, Georgia. Linebacker Palmer Flake from Chapin. Running back Tay Franklin from Waycross, Georgia. Quarterback Caden Gilstrap, 6'2", 185, Marietta, Georgia. Defensive tackle Mike Jones, 6'2", 280 from Oceanside Collegiate. Tight end Walker Kelly, he's 6'5", 235, TL Hanna. Defensive back Marek Marcellus, 6'1", 180, Cooper City, Florida. Defensive back Kyrie Murphy, 5'11", 173 from Middle River, Maryland. And offensive lineman Drew Scruggs, 6'4", 280 from Bryson City, North Carolina. Athlete Javon Williams, 6'1", 170 out of West Haven, Connecticut. Charleston Southern signed 15. Kicker Michael Hill, Clarksville, Georgia. Offensive lineman Jackson Wofford. It's funny, Wofford. Jackson Wofford from Alpharetta, Georgia. Safety DeMarcus O'Neal, Columbus, Georgia. Offensive lineman Quandre Brooks, Brandon, Florida. Cornerback Joshua Singleton from Rock Hill. I'm not sure which high school. Have to look that up. Offensive lineman Chris Coleman, also from Rock Hill. Linebacker Jaden Coleman from Perry, Georgia. Wide receiver Frank Jackson from Atlanta. Defensive lineman Caden Ricks of Yulee, Florida. Defensive lineman Jatarius Brown, Jacksonville, Florida. Defensive lineman Jamie Williamson from Florence, not sure which high school. Linebacker Shannon Atkins of Dublin, Georgia. Defensive lineman Alvin Green of Homerville, Georgia. Linebacker Lucas Tackersley of Marietta, Georgia. Defensive lineman Cameron Washington of Jacksonville, Florida. And we'll be back.
On Point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Partly cloudy skies this evening. Chilly with a low temperature dropping down to 32. Tomorrow, increasing clouds as the day moves along. A little bit warmer. The high is 57. There is a slight 20% chance we get some showers. Friday, well, wet and cold with widespread showers all day long. Expect a cold temperature of just 47 as the high. Could be a wet weekend also. About a 50% chance we get showers both Saturday and Sunday. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
What's better than getting the best Wagyu and Hereford beef anywhere in these parts and getting it delivered to your door? How about knowing you're still supporting local farmers in Saluda over at H&J Cattle, where tradition meets quality? Visit HandJCattle.com. Place your order for $50 or more, get free delivery in Richland or Lexington County. Plus, Point listeners get 10% off your order. Enter keyword The Point as one word for your discount. HandJCattle.com.
The Point.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Democratic Congressman Henry Cuellar of Texas is thanking President Trump for pardoning him and his wife in a federal bribery and conspiracy case. Mr. Trump says that Cuellar and his wife Imelda were prosecuted because the congressman had been critical of President Biden's immigration policies. The president said Wednesday on social media that Cuellar bravely spoke out against open borders. A University of Oklahoma instructor has been placed on leave after a student complained about receiving a failing grade on a paper. The student, Samantha Fulnecke, argued that her paper, which used the Bible to claim that belief in multiple genders is demonic, was unfairly graded. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 408 points, the Nasdaq rose 40. More details at srnnews.com.
Nobody plans for a plumbing problem. They come unannounced and usually at a very inconvenient time. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning is your trusted ally. They recognize just how vulnerable a customer is at this time, and they want to help. They have well-trained plumbers who are there to make a difference when you need it most. I've experienced this. They're knowledgeable about their craft. They're not coming to your house to pitch new products. If something is broken, they'll give you a price to fix it if it's possible, or a price to replace it if necessary. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning is also locally owned and operated, or I simply wouldn't endorse them. Josh and his team prioritize customer service above everything else. They handle every issue with care and precision. Those are not just words. I've had Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning out to my home. They back up those words with their actions. If you have a crisis, get some peace of mind. Online, you find them at franklinplumbing.sc.com, or you call 799-2222. That's 799-2222. I'm absolutely positive they will make whatever is wrong right again. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning.
America's radio show with Gene Garris every Sunday night from 6 till 8. Local, live, somewhat punishing, but only on the point.
This Christmas, give the gift of the outdoors to the sportsmen in your family. At Palmetto State Armory, find gifts that spark adventure, from rugged boots, cozy jackets, and outdoor clothing essentials to must-have items like Yeti coolers, turtle box speakers, and Costa sunglasses. Whether you're shopping for the seasoned hunter or the next generation of outdoor lovers, Palmetto State Armory has everything you need to make memories this Christmas and beyond. Palmetto State Armory. Give the gift of the outdoors this year.
Hey, it's Jay with the Cigar Militia. When I stop by a cigar store, I always look for my go-to cigars and stock up a few of those, but I also look for something I've never tried before. Well, at the Cigar Militia, we specialize in a lot of small boutique cigar manufacturers. Come in and try a Don Kiki by Karen Berger or a Makaji by Ty Williams. We are the Cigar Militia at 1410 Colonial Life Boulevard. Help us out, stock up, and review some of our boutique brands.
Do you crave growth for your business? That's where The Point comes in. Fran Halloran here. Kevin Cohen and the other local hosts like me have worked to create a space where listeners transform into family. Are you a local business aiming for the stars? You need to get with Kevin and let him help create an individualized blueprint for your growth using the influential stage of The Point Radio. Reach out directly at 563-8558. Teaming with The Point, make this year extraordinary.
Hello, this is Stacy Huff, host of Huff Nation Sports Zone, each and every Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 100.7 FM, The Point, and also 1470 a.m. It'll be a fun trip around the world of sports. Huff Nation Sports Zone, check it out.
All right, so where do things stand in the rankings? You know I don't do rankings, but I do have to look at them after signing day. And, of course, there's still a little bit of signing to go on. But for the sake of conversation, and I know a lot of you look at the rankings and you live and die by them, and that's your personal issue. The rankings look like this. If you go by rivals, Southern Cal is ranked number 1. Followed by Notre Dame, Oregon, Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, Tennessee, Miami, Texas A&M, and LSU. Then it's Texas, number 11, followed by Michigan, Florida, Florida State, Washington, Oklahoma, North Carolina, which has 40 signees and or commitments. 40. Telling you they're going all in. Then South Carolina at number 18, Clemson at number 19. So they're saying South Carolina's 14 are better than Clemson's 20. That's them saying that. Texas Tech is number 20. All right? So that is the look at it from the rival standpoint. How about the folks over at 247? They like Southern Cal, number 1, followed by Oregon, Notre Dame, Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Tennessee, Texas at number 8, then Texas A&M and Miami at 10, then Michigan, LSU, Washington, Florida State, Oklahoma, Florida, North Carolina. Now, see, they've got Clemson at 18, followed by Texas Tech and BYU. They got South Carolina at 23. So I know that these organizations have, I guess, different values, different rating numbers and all that kind of stuff, but one has the Gamecocks at number 18. The other one has the Gamecocks at number 23. One has Clemson at number 19. The other has Clemson at number 18. Same players, same number of players, different opinion. But you know what? It don't mean squat. It really doesn't. And you might say, Corn, why do you always put down the rating system? It's very simple. Because they are subjective, they are political, and they are easily influenced. And I happen to believe if you're a good athlete, if you're a good football player, whatever label somebody slaps on you doesn't mean anything when you get on the field. If you're good, you'll play and you'll show it. And if you're not good, either you won't play or you'll play and you'll show that you're not good, and you'll be pulled. It doesn't matter what the ranking is in these ranking classes. But it does stand the reason, and people say, well, the rankings reflect the better teams. Well, I'm not going to argue the fact that the teams that get the best players are going to have the best chance to win games. I mean, that's just common sense. If you get the better players, you're going to theoretically have a chance to have a better team as long as they stay healthy and they buy in and you coach them well. So I'm not going to argue that point, but I just think that there are so many misidentified players, players who are given too high a ranking and players who are given too low a ranking, and so people wonder, well, why is this guy not playing? Why is this guy not being a big factor? He's a 5-star. He's a 4-star. Well, you know what? He didn't ask for that ranking. Well, some of them do, but he was given that ranking, and that's what people want to subscribe to and believe that once you're slapped with that label, it sticks on you for life. I've seen obituaries, unfortunately. This really ticks me off. I've seen obituaries on athletes who are college football, basketball players. Part of their obituary mentions what their star ranking was. Can you believe that? So-and-so died tragically in a traffic accident at the age of 19. He was a linebacker at XYZ University out of Baltimore, Maryland. He was a 3-star recruit coming out of Cumberland High School. Yeah, I mean, really? Why don't we rate humans by their human actions? What would you be? Would you be a 5-star? Plumber, I'm sorry. I think I'd have to rank you a low 2-star.
I would say probably a 4.8. That would be my star ranking. You'd be a.
What would you rank me?
A high 3. Yeah. 3.7. Yeah, 3.7.
Okay, I can live with that. Average. That's all I've ever wanted to be was average.
A little bit above average.
I didn't aspire for anything else.
Yeah, 3.5, 3.7.
Just wanted to be average. Okay, enough on that. Let's go to some other things. We can now take calls. We've cleared out everything. Our plans for an interview have not worked out. I'm not surprised. These things happen on signing day.
Nobody got the score correct.
Nobody got the score correct from Saturday. Who came closest? Do we have anybody that came close?
I can pull it up.
It
wasn't very close.
I did. I missed it, of course. I missed everything. I was right in that Sellers did throw a post pattern deep to Harbor, and he did roll right. He didn't do the fake of the jet sweep for some reason. They didn't even use the jet sweep in the game. He did roll right and threw a beautiful post pattern to Harbor that just dropped into his lap. You know, if somehow, some way, South Carolina can retain their big three, and many of the others, if they can retain the big three, though, Sellers, Harbor, and Stewart, I mean, that's the nucleus to build around. And one thing Shane Beamer talked about in other comments we didn't run was the age of the team. And it's going to be, if he holds it together, if these guys come back, they'll be an older team. And like he pointed out, Vanderbilt had like 40 seniors. Older team. Last year's South Carolina team, especially on defense, older team. And older players become your better leaders. And he cited players on defense last year who were older, who were their better players, many of whom, if not all of them, came from the portal. So that's what he's looking for in the portal. He emphasized line of scrimmage, offensive linemen, defensive tackles. He said that like 3 times. Offensive linemen, defensive tackles, offensive linemen, defensive tackles. He said they need about 17 offensive linemen total in the program. You need about 17 offensive linemen to have the full stock. Yeah, you could go out for it, Plummer.
Yeah, I wonder when tryouts are.
First time you got hit, you'd go crying to mommy. Get me out of here.
That's possible.
Anyway, that's what they're going to be hitting up heavily in the portal. If they don't have to go shopping for a quarterback. They may have to go shopping for a quarterback because if Duckworth goes to LSU and Sellers doesn't come back, well, you are shorthanded at quarterback because you got nobody in your program who's played a meaningful down. Luke Doty's gone. You got Cutter Woods and you've got Air Nolan. Neither one has played a meaningful down. That's a dangerous situation to be in. Clemson's in the same boat. Well, Vizina has played some meaningful downs. Okay, that's for sure. Just not a lot of them. But still, now the Tigers, they do like their 2 quarterbacks coming in. And I'll be intrigued by the Reynolds kid in particular. You know, he's an athlete, football, baseball. He's not going to play baseball this spring. He's going to fully concentrate on playing football and competing for the starting job. The Clemson starting job is wide open, really. But Vizina's going to get the first opportunity. He's earned it according to Sweeney, and he's going to give him the first opportunity to win that job. All right, let me mention a few other things. And first of all, gosh, I hate that it happened. But, you know, this just gets so lost in everything else that we're doing today. How about the death of Eldon Campbell at the age of 57? That is an absolute shock to the system. Shock to the system. What a great player at Clemson. Needless to say, a great player, their all-time leading scorer, a guy that they recruited under Cliff Ellis out of California, out of the shadows of the old Los Angeles Forum, because he grew up in Inglewood, California, right there. I remember talking to him about that, and he grew up down the street. He would just walk to Lakers games. And, of course, he ended up playing for the Lakers in the NBA. Had a great NBA career, really good NBA career, maybe almost great NBA career, but a great college career. And, boy, I don't know what the deal was, but passed away at the age of 57 today. So that sent shockwaves through the Clemson basketball community and the NBA as well. Very sorry to hear that news. Speaking of that, Clemson basketball playing tonight at Alabama is not going well for the Tigers. This ACC-SEC challenge continues. They're about midway through the opening quarter, 31-16 Alabama. They are midway through, 8:58 to go in the half. 31-16 Alabama on top of Clemson. Tigers only shooting 30%, while Alabama is scorching the nets, 11 of 16, including 7 3-pointers. They're shooting 69%. That is not Brad Brownell's basketball team, allowing a team to do that. The only Tiger scoring is Godfrey. He's got 10 points. So bad start for Clemson here at Alabama. Of course, they're playing an excellent team. But this is a test, and right now they're failing the test in a big-time way. So we'll see what happens. It's still early, 31-16. Clemson's got to clamp down. They have forced 5 turnovers and only turned it over 1 time themselves, but they're shooting. They're 6 of 20. That's 30%, while Alabama, 11 of 16. Again, 7 of those are threes. That's 69%. I caught the second half, or much of the second half, and overtime of South Carolina, Virginia Tech last night. And, boy, disappointing loss for South Carolina. That's another close loss for those guys. And, boy, they had a chance at the end of regulation. They had the ball with about 15 seconds. And Michi Johnson just dribbled the timeout. I mean, he stood outside. He had a bigger guy on him. He was standing outside trying to size him up and get his shot. He couldn't find the opening. Then he got into the lane, kind of got him on his back and was going to try to make a move around him, but never could. And then by the time he dished the ball over to a teammate, the clock ran out. And they go to overtime, and, of course, it was tight in overtime until Virginia Tech scored the last 3 points of overtime to go up by 3, and then the Gamecocks couldn't. They did not get off a shot there at the end. So they ended up losing that game. I'm trying to remember, did they get a shot off there at the end of overtime? I had to pull those notes back up. But regardless, a tough loss for South Carolina at home as they fall in the SEC-ACC Challenge. And they're back at home against Stetson on Saturday afternoon. The Gamecocks are now 5-3. So they are piling up some losses that when you get to SEC play and you know you're going to take some losses, you're going to look back at some of these losses and say, sure could have used a win here or there. The Gamecocks last night were handled on the boards. Again, this is going to be a big problem for them. We kind of sensed this going into the season, looking at the style of basketball they were playing, that it could be trouble for them on the boards. And last night they were out-rebounded handily by Virginia Tech. That final total was 37-28, including Virginia Tech getting 12 second-chance points. So the Gamecocks, I just want to go back and look at the end of that ball game. I talked about them having the chance there in regulation and didn't take advantage of it. Came down to the end of overtime, and yeah, they did get a shot off because Virginia Tech scored with 13 seconds left. They went up by 2 on a layup, 85-83, and then South Carolina got the ball to Michi Johnson with 3 seconds to go. He missed a 3. Virginia Tech got the rebound. They fouled, put him on the line. He made 1 of 2 to put Virginia Tech up 3. The Gamecocks ran a play through the half-court pass to Strong, who got a decent look at the basket, but it didn't go. It was off the mark, and that's how it ended for them. So disappointing loss for South Carolina last night at home. Good crowd. The lower bowl was pretty full, and the crowd was pretty much into the ballgame. They were strongly into the ballgame. Not much upstairs, a little bit upstairs, but not all that much. But for a Tuesday night crowd in December, not a bad gathering for the Gamecocks. All right, Clemson, check that out once again here as we go to the break. See if the Tigers have made any progress. 31-16, make that 33-16 Alabama. 33-16 Alabama, 8:45 to play in the half. Be right back.
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love, and you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
Life insurance isn't for you. It's for those you love the most. For a complete insurance review, call Buddy Bridges in Lawrence County at 864-923-2174, serving Lawrence, Clinton, and the shores of Lake Greenwood.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states.
Hi, I'm attorney Jim Corbett. For over 35 years, I've been making claims, litigating cases, and mediating cases. Quick checks from a car wreck are usually lowball offers. What happens 5 or more years from now when you didn't get the treatment or compensation you needed? Call me, Jim Corbett, 803-765-2968, or jim@jimcorbettattorney.com. Corbett with an E, and the initial consultation is free. Jim Corbett, 803-765-2968.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at sccattle.org. Beef, it's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff program.
Many of South Carolina's top high school seniors meet in one unforgettable showdown in Myrtle Beach. It's the 78th Annual Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl. Hi, I'm Phil Kornbluth. Join me Saturday, December 13th at noon, live on your Sports Talk Media Network affiliate and streaming on all of our social media channels. Don't miss the pride, the passion, and the tradition of the Touchstone Energy Bowl, powered by your local Touchstone Energy Cooperatives. Get your tickets now at touchstoneenergybowl.com.
The lottery is not about getting rich. It's about helping people, and it always has been. The lottery is what helped raise the Great Wall of China, build the roads of Rome, and today in South Carolina, it's what generates millions of dollars each year for scholarships like the SC Hope, Life, and Palmetto Fellows. The South Carolina Education Lottery is investing in you. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou to learn more.
Touchstone Energy Cooperative members save more on electricity, and members save more on insurance, groceries, healthcare, restaurants, travel, concerts, and sporting events through Co-op Connections. Touchstone Energy is an alliance of the member-owned electric cooperatives, and as a member, the power is yours. Experience the power of co-op membership with Touchstone Energy and find out how much you can save on electricity and a whole lot more at touchstoneenergy.com.
All right, final minutes tonight. Let's update some things. Alabama 35-19 over Clemson, 7.5 to go in the half. Arkansas leading Louisville 31-22. 6 minutes to go in the half there. Coastal at the half leading Upstate 31-25. Halftime, Wofford over Presbyterian 31-22. Late in the half, Elon 43 and Furman 41. In case you missed it last night in the SEC-ACC Challenge, Oklahoma beat Wake Forest 86-68. Syracuse edged Tennessee 62-60. Texas A&M beat Pittsburgh 81-73. Virginia Tech over South Carolina 86-83. So right there, that is a, 2-2? That's 2-2 right there. Duke edged Florida 67-66. Miami beat Ole Miss. Take that, Lane Kiffin. Miami beat Ole Miss 75-66. So that makes the ACC 4-2 right there. Notre Dame beat Missouri 76-71, 5-2. Georgia 107, Florida State 73. What does that make it, 5-3? North Carolina beat Kentucky 67-64. Kentucky's got 3 losses on the year now, 67-64. And California, I forgot these guys are in the ACC. This is not part of the challenge, but Cal beat Utah 79-72. Unless Utah has snuck into the SEC. So what was that, like a 6-3 ACC advantage? Something like that? 5-3, 6-3? ACC is up. ACC is up, unlike last year when they were dominated by the SEC. All right, a few other notes from today, a few other notes for you here. How about this? Former Kentucky O-line coach Eric Wolford, come on, Corn. Former Kentucky offensive line coach Eric Wolford plans to join Lane Kiffin at LSU. That's a heck of a pickup. And we mentioned that Nick Sharp, South Carolina starting left guard, he's transferring. Clemson linebacker D. Creighton, he is transferring. Sanford's hired Clemson's John Grass as their head football coach. Jeff Brom turned down overtures from Penn State to stay at Louisville. UAB's going to hire Presbyterian coach Steve Englehart, according to John Duncan, who covers UAB for the Blazer Pod. Okay? And missed this yesterday with everything going on. 7 Clemson players named to the All-ACC team. On the offense, you got Blake Miller and Antonio Williams. On the defense, Peter Woods, Sammy Brown, Avion Terrell, Will Helt, and Ricardo Jones. And let's see here. Neil Brown is taking the job at North Texas. That was a job that Garrett Riley was being talked about, but that ain't happening. So he's staying put. And let's see if there's anything else here I wanted to mention that I hadn't gotten to. Chance Miller, the AD at Coastal Carolina, put out a post yesterday which said, trying to address the rumors, he's put out a little letter to Coastal Carolina fans, of course, asking them to give to the Chanticleer Foundation. But he said, when the time comes, you'll hear it from me. Until then, don't believe what you're hearing about the coaching search. He said there'll be a lot of rumors and speculation. Until you hear it from me, nothing is official. So far, we've heard really nothing about the job there at Coastal Carolina. Hope you enjoyed National Signing Day. Still got a little bit of work tomorrow. We'll see what happens. That's all for now. See you tomorrow.
This is Perry Orth, former South Carolina quarterback. On the field, my job was simple. Read the defense, protect the ball, and give my team the best chance to win. Off the field, at Moultrie Insurance, our job is no different. Help protect your business from the risks that you don't see coming, so you can focus on moving the ball forward. Just like a good quarterback, we anticipate challenges, call the right plays, and keep you protected. Trust Moultrie Insurance to cover your blind side and keep your business in the game. Visit MoultrieINS.com today.
The Point.
WQXL Columbia, W264DM.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in